Hello and welcome to part 3 of JavaScript and Introduction. We're going to be looking at arrays. So arrays are a way in which we can store data, another way that we can store data, just like variables. But they allow us to store multi-dimensional data. And we'll have a look at what that means in a second. But the way we write an array, there are two ways we can write an array. So we can just create a variable, and let's just call this array1. And then we can simply say a new array with parentheses, and that creates a new array. And then the second way we can do it is by simply just setting it equal to square brackets. So right now both of these values equal an empty array. So if I console.log the array1, and I'll copy and paste that, and I log both of them out, and I'll run the code with Control Alt and N, and you'll see there they both have a value of nothing. We can store values of any type in these arrays. We can even store multiple of each. So the way we create an array with values in it is we do this just inside and then separate it by commas. So I could have a string that says hello, I could have an int, and I could have a boolean. And then I'll save that and run it. And you'll see there we go, it has hello, true, and true. So let's imagine we had a scenario where we had a shopping list and we wanted to store the different items on the shopping list. An array would be really good for this, not shopping list, and then we'll set it equal to a new array, and I'm going to just fill it with some items, so bread, butter, Coke, that should do. And I cannot spell today, sorry. And what this does is it creates an array of size 3, where the first element is at position 0, and then obviously the next one is 1, and then 2. So the important thing to know with arrays is the first element starts at 0 all the time, just like when we were altering strings in part 2. And we can access each element the same way that we can do with strings, such as say element 1 is equal to the shopping list, square brackets, and then the index that we want. So we'll grab bread, and then we'll log it out to the console, and there we'll see bread. We can also use the same method here to alter the data. So if I come in and let's say I want to change bread to be brown bread, like so, and then let's log the shopping list out now, and we'll see that it should say brown bread instead. So we can alter the data using the index. Now this array as it is, it's one dimensional. And if you remember, I said that arrays can be multi-dimensional. So expanding this scenario, imagine that we were shopping at 3 different shops, and we wanted the shopping list to contain the lists for all 3 shops. We could obviously just create 3 separate arrays, but for the scenario, and so I can actually teach you what multi-dimensional arrays are, we'll do this. So we'll just cut that for now. So I want this array to hold 3 different arrays, and to do that we can simply just add the square brackets in, and that creates nested arrays. So this right now is a 2D array, so I can pop that in there. I'll add another item, so let's just say Xbox, and then one more, we'll say eggs. And we can create as many layers as we want. So in the first shopping list I could have another element that is another array for whatever reason. Maybe it's for another person, but yeah, you get the gist. You could go on and on and on and on forever if you wanted to. Now we can get the length of any array by simply just typing in .length. Let's also remove this because it's going to remove that entire array and set it equal to brown bread, so I don't want that anymore. We'll remove that for now. And let's log the shopping list.length. So we can see that it is 3, so it's just counting how many items the base array has. So if we wanted the amount of items that the first array in the array has, we have to go shopping list to the 0, so we're accessing the first element, and then we want that length, so we should see 3 in the console. There we go. Again, and obviously if I do that for 1, we should expect 1 since it only contains Xbox, and there we go, 1. Now let's imagine that we'd already created this somewhere in our program, and then we wanted to add a new element. We wanted to add a 4th shopping list. Now how would we do this? Would we just create a new list, copying these values over? Well, thankfully there is a function that we can use on arrays where we can just say shopping list dot push, and what this push method does is it pushes an element at the very end. So we can say push a new array of value, let's just say shopping list 4, like so, and then we'll get rid of that and we'll log the shopping list, and you should see 1, 2, 3, 4, and we've got shopping list 4 at the end. So we can use the push to add elements on after the array has been created. Now, how do we remove elements? We can come in and use the shopping list dot pop, and what pop does is it removes the last element in the array. So if I log this now, it should just be equal to what's here, and there we go. It adds shopping list 4 and then it removes it. So that was just a quick look at arrays. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next part.